Welcome to the Opinionated Aussies.
Merry Christmas from us to you, the listeners, the viewers. Hello.
Woohoo! It's Christmas time!
As you can tell, we're very excited. Christmas is a lovely time. Time to spend with family. Time to spend with
Friends. Time to spend in your room beating off to the Grinch porn.
Yeah, there we go. Maybe not the Grinch. Jim Carrey, I can't get off over.
Oh, damn.
No.
Unlucky for you then.
So how are we all going today? How are we going, Jordan?
Oh, fantastic, mate. You know, I was a bit of a Grinch, like I am every fucking year.
Yeah.
Until about Christmas Eve. Then I'm like, yeah, let's go do something Christmas Eve.
Today is Christmas Eve.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm so good on spirits.
Good on spirits, high on life. As you do. Yeah, same thing with me. Pretty much like every year. I had my birthday, and then I was in a good mood from the 15th onwards.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's something else too. Since the last episode, we've had one of our team members on this podcast have a birthday, so woohoo. Hey, yay me.
Yay, you're 1 year older. You're
Yay.
64.
So, fuck off. And, yeah, not much else to really discuss with that. Big plans for Christmas, I think you've got, like, what, 3 places you're wanted this year?
Oh, I'm probably wanted in a lot more places than that, but...
Oh, 3 places. Okay, 3 places you're wanted in that you're willing to go to.
Yeah. No, just do the thing. Obviously, go grab mum and take mum over to my sister's place and go do presents and stuff that in the morning. Give the kids their Christmas cards and maybe have a drink or so there, whatever.
As you do.
Yeah, get into, the jolly spirit.
And that spirit is vodka.
No, just, obviously the kids are older now, so it's not so much,
yeah.
Setting out shit for the reindeers and Santa and all that sort of stuff. It's more, I'm not going to say mature, but you just sort of go up a bit.
With your niece and nephew, those two in particular, it probably... I don't think they'd be expecting that type of Christmas anymore. They'd probably be a bit older and think, what's the word I'm looking for?
Just like, I guess, when we were, 11, 12, 13, 14.
Yeah, the magic was starting to die.
Yeah, that's right. But it's still the, I guess, anticipation of not knowing what you're going to get for Christmas. So it's like, oh, what have I got sort of thing.
And also just the day that you get to spend with
your
family.
Yeah.
I mean... Some families spend a lot of time together, so Christmas doesn't mean anything to them. But you make it as special as you want. That's pretty much all it is.
Yeah, that's right. So me and Mum sort of have just decorated the house ever so slightly, put up a little Christmas tree, just like when me and you lived together, we had that little Christmas tree.
Yeah.
So, a little Christmas tree with some presents under it, with, a couple of wreaths and stuff around the house. No Christmas lights or anything like that. I said, getting a bit too old to fucking climb up on a ladder and put fucking lights and shit. I was like, fuck that, because you got to take them down in a couple of weeks. No
What
way.
do you mean you're not even that old?
Yeah, but fuck that.
Yeah. You could have just said that from the start instead of going too old. Like, cunt, you're not even 30.
Not yet.
You can still do some more. You can still run rings around some people that, you're fine.
I don't fucking run.
You can still walk. You can still
walk rings around it.
Yeah, you can still walk rings. You can still, spin a chair around someone. Like, come on. Not, I mean, depending on how you look at it, like decorating your house for... If you are someone that likes to put lights all over your house for Christmas, just so that families that go out and look at Christmas lights...
Yeah.
That's your own call. I mean, personally, me, I'm kind of in the same boat as you. I just gave you shit for it, but I'm in the same boat. I'm not climbing the fucking roof.
Yeah.
I'm not putting lights everywhere. We don't even have extravagant lights in this household here.
Yeah.
Next door, on the other hand, they've got 5 kids. Yeah. So, of course, there's Christmas stuff in
Yeah, exactly. If I had, quote-unquote, a young family, a missus and a younger child or whatever.
Oh, you'd be going ham.
Yeah, exactly right.
You'd probably be going off your rocker like, not enough lights. I need more lights.
I would have started doing it in the middle of fucking November.
No.
Well, with my work, I would have had to pick a good time to do it.
Yeah.
So,
actually,
do it in the middle of November.
Yeah, see, I was thinking of, working in town.
Yeah, no.
But no, with yours, makes more sense.
Yeah. Yeah, so I would have done that. And...
I wouldn't go anywhere near your house in November because I think that the first day of December is the perfect date to start setting up for Christmas. But with you, makes sense to do middle of November because 1 week on, 1 week off.
Yeah.
But anyone else that doesn't do that, if you do it before December, you're fucking mental.
Yeah.
Did you? No, this one. I forgot to mention it to you. I was going to bring it up to you earlier. It's just a little fun fact. Did you know they've already got Australia Day stuff coming out in Woolies?
Oh, really?
Yeah, you know that display they always do for Australia Day?
Yeah.
Eskies and shit? It's up.
Huh.
It's in our Woolies. It's right next to the ice cream section.
Yeah, but...
I'm like, we haven't even had Christmas yet.
In saying that, that's... Well, when you think of a traditional Australian Christmas, right? We're not in America where... A lot of the hallmark is with Christmas, it's not snowing and it's not cold and all that sort of shit here.
And if it is, where the hell are you?
Yeah, exactly right. But, I can still remember being young on Christmas and having aunties and uncles and nieces and nephews and cousins and shit over. And even just kids from around the street, we'd go out and we'd play backyard cricket or we'd play... cricket on the fucking road or whatever, lived in a cul-de-sac. You play cricket down the end of the cul-de-sac, all that sort of stuff. You buy an eskies with like wicket stumps on them just like you would for Australia Day, all that sort of gear. You can use that as Christmas time.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair though, this Woolies out here never usually puts that out during Christmas though.
Yeah.
So that's what, because usually we in Australia, we usually don't worry about doing like a big setup for New Year's. For us, it's Christmas and then Australia Day is our next big one.
Yeah.
Right? So that's why, like, when you see that, it's like, oh, fuck, they're getting ready for Australia Day. Next thing you know, Australia Day is over. Fuck, the Easter eggs are out.
Yeah.
No! Which I believe they have done before.
Oh, yeah.
It's insane. Insane how early everyone gets early. Now, I didn't mean to go on such a pessimistic tangent about how everyone gets everything ready early, by the way. I did actually want to stick to a little bit of the jolly with the Christmas stuff.
But, if you have a younger family or if, that's your thing, fucking more power to you to do that.
Mate, I know there's an old guy in Gracemere. He sets up his Christmas lights every year. He has no family that visits him anymore.
Yeah.
His kids have grown up. They live overseas now. But this is one of the first years he hasn't set up his lights.
Yeah.
It's the first time he's ever done it. And he said... I just don't feel the joy anymore. It's been a rough couple of years for all of us.
Yeah.
I'm like,
right.
Wouldn't that be the best excuse to put them up then?
Yeah, but...
Try to cheer everyone up?
Oh, yeah, I totally get that. You look at the other side of things, though, like he's got no one, and I use air quotes, no one to put them up for.
Yeah.
Like, some people are like that.
Yeah.
Some people are that selfless that they'll put them up to bring joy to other people.
Yeah.
And, that's lovely, Just like, I guess, Australians starting to get in the spirit of Halloween a bit more and going trick-or-treating and shit.
It's taken us a few decades, but yeah.
You see that getting around a bit. So, I'd love to see that sort of thing with Christmas lights looking on foot with families walking up and down the street. Not so much driving, but, all these families, aunties and uncles and everyone getting together and walking, just a few blocks around your neighbourhood.
Well, when I was growing up in New South Wales, that's what we would do. Me, my mum and my grandparents on mum's side would walk around. And then once we'd finished exploring that section, we'd get in the car, find a new section, get out, walk around.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
And I remember that time because that was when it really started getting... when it really started getting big was when my first cousin was born. So my dumbass auntie and my cousin were visiting for Christmas, and all of us were just walking around. So there's a baby, there's a kid, me, there's the grandparent, like everything, and it's such good memories to have from Christmas. And then there's the actual Christmas day itself, the whole yoo-hoo, Christmas, and you're up early and shit.
Yeah.
And then going over. And then at that night, because as a kid, when you have kids hanging around, the adults usually don't drink as much, depending on who you are.
Yeah.
Considering my dad wasn't really home for Christmas that much. Mum wasn't drinking.
Yep.
And Nan and Granddad don't. So we went Christmas light out searching again on Christmas night.
Yeah.
And best Christmas.
Yeah. Some families do that. Some families spend Christmas down the beach.
Yeah, that's typical Aussie.
Yeah. Like, I know of a few families that, pack up, they do the presents and whatever, and then just take everything down the beach and spend the day down there, so that's you, and that's great.
That's awesome.
I did see a meme though, and it was like, this December hasn't really felt December-y as other Decembers Decembered. Right? And you just take the bullshit out of it. You're like, I think just because we're getting to the back end of COVID and all that sort of stuff.
I don't know about the back end, but
this December hasn't really felt December-y. Just like, it sort of just felt like, well, for me, it just felt like another month.
So, with you in particular, you're gone for a week, you're back another. You probably won't feel it as often because you're not here as often.
Yeah.
So, with you, that makes loads of sense.
Yeah.
It's probably the same with your brother-in-law as well. Probably the same with Rocky. He probably doesn't feel it as much as he normally would.
Yeah.
And he probably hasn't for years now. But then again, like, just saying, in a couple of years, you two will be away for Christmas. So you won't feel it at all, probably.
No, we'll still be home for Christmas. Well, it depends, because depending on what day of the week it falls on, we might, if it falls on a Wednesday or a Thursday, then there's no point in us driving out to camp on a Tuesday and having Wednesday and Thursday off. So what they'll do is essentially just give us Christmas off, and then we'll start again on Friday.
Yeah, and then do a couple of days, and then you're back home again.
Yeah, that's right. Where I know we, as a crew, we generally just run a skeleton crew on Christmas Day.
Yeah. So,
like I said, a grader, a dozer, a digger, 4 or 5 people, that's it.
Yeah.
And, depending on what mine site you're at, I'm on a BMA site, so, just like Easter come and all that sort of stuff was like, our mind control put a thing out to all site personnel, have a happy Easter and wished us all the best. So I'm assuming they do the same thing for us for that.
Yeah.
They do the same thing for Christmas, same for the New Year. Like, I'm working this New Year's, but I'm not staying up to watch fucking fireworks. No, I'll be in bed by 8 o'clock. So
yeah, but you're at work, so
yeah, exactly. So I would assume that they come a stroke of midnight, mind control would say, Merry Christmas to everyone, on the stroke of midnight, welcome to the new year, all that sort of stuff.
I wonder if they do anything for Australia Day for you.
I'm not sure.
You weren't working there at the time, no. You were still getting everything ready to start working there.
Yeah, well, I'd only just moved to Rocky at that time. I moved to Rocky, moved back to Rocky. Oh, no, I think I spent Australia Day down there, actually. I think
you did.
Yeah,
you moved back just after.
Yeah, the last week of January I moved up.
Yeah, so you weren't even up here, so there was no way you were working at that mine site.
No, I started the end of February. I started working.
End of February, start of March. You worked.
No, it was the last week of February.
It was too.
It was like the 22nd or something.
But yeah, no.
So I don't know. It just, to me, it just doesn't feel. Yeah, it's Christmas, and there's definitely a sweetness in the air, but it just doesn't feel December-y.
Yeah. Oh, that's been with a lot of people though. Not just you guys that do week on, week off. Like me, where I work, it's all decorated. I definitely do feel it, but when I'm home, not as much.
Yeah.
Because when I'm home, like you're here in this house with us, you probably just noticed it. There's not a lot of Christmas stuff up and about.
No.
I think there might be some reefs up.
Yeah, I did see.
But that's pretty much the
cheers.
gist of it. Like even our Christmas tree is one of those little Christmas tree air fresheners.
yeah, that's right.
And it's the same one from last year. It's just still hanging there. There's nothing sweet about it. It doesn't even smell anymore.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but that's also because in this household, like, we haven't really had little kids running around. There's no little kids anymore. We've passed it. The youngest of all the cousins is in the other room.
Yeah.
So all our family's pretty much like Oh my god, excuse me, coffee really come back up. The youngest now in the family has only recently just been born. It's a very newborn, and it's in South Australia.
Yeah.
And she is in South Australia.
Yeah.
So we're not going to have like any big extravagant Christmases for a little bit.
Yeah, exactly right.
And considering I'm still looking for a missus to even start a family with, same as you, like neither of us are going to be having that for a little bit longer.
Yeah, exactly right. But, you know, even, I guess with that being said too, even if you had a missus, you could join in on their family celebrations as well.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, oh, we'll go see my family in the morning, or go see your family in the morning, then go see my family. And generally, for me, how that's worked before is like, go see my family in the morning, say hello, do the presents, whatever, do breakfast with them, and then do lunch with whoever. Then 9 times out of 10, all the boys get together, and you know, your close circle of friends and their missuses. We have Christmas with the boys that night.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when
we were in Norman Gardens.
Yeah, when we were in Norman Gardens, when we were at South Street as well.
Yeah,
like although when you and I were at South Street,
that's a different story.
Yeah,
but you go to Norman Gardens. We had Aden, you, myself, Stibby, Corey, someone else, and we didn't do anything special for dinner. We just pretty much just bought leftovers for lunch from everyone, and we cooked up some snacks.
And yeah, pretty much just got on the drink.
Like yeah, exactly right. And that was probably one of the fucking better Christmas nights we've had, because where everyone just talked shit, got a little bit legless, and that was it.
Yeah, no archery involved either. Yeah, it took you a second to get that one, didn't it? One of my favourite Christmases I've had in the last probably 5 years was probably the one at South Street.
Where Trent rolled up?
Yeah.
Was that one? Yeah.
Trent, I mean, there is a negative to be had from it because, you know, there was a bitch involved.
Yeah, but
I don't look back on that one. I look back on, like, I was out with the folks for Christmas Day, and then I was back home. Of course, the whole day I was on the piss from the moment I woke up.
Yeah.
And I still remember the whole day, so that's an accomplishment in my own right. Getting legless drunk, and I can still remember the whole day.
Yeah. I'm
pretty, like you know for a fact, I'm awful with remembering shit.
Yeah.
Like, in general. And add in alcohol, you're good luck. But no, I remember that whole Christmas. From the moment I wake up. And that's probably one of my favourites. To be fair, though, I think the other Christmas I actually rather enjoyed it when we were living in Brisbane, and I spent it with you and Sarah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I might not have spoken much because it wasn't really, you know, like, I don't really talk to your sister much, but I still enjoyed the company, and it was a good time. Made me feel really good.
Yeah. Well, that was like we had the kids, and you saw that, and
that was also the time where we found out Aden had or was going to, I can't remember, propose.
Yeah. I think that was
that was that Christmas that Aden was going to propose. So, as some of you know, like, the third member of our podcast that's in here more than anyone else, Aden, is married. He was thinking about it or proposed. I think he proposed to her.
Yeah, I think it was
on that
Christmas night.
Yeah. So there's a little history for you. And me and Jordan, like, Jordan knew before I found out.
Yeah.
Because Jordan had been asked to be the best man. But then I found out not long afterwards, I'm pretty sure. And I was sitting there like, oh my God, he's gonna get married!
Yeah, I can't remember whether he asked me to be the best man and that's how I knew, or he was like, hey, this is what I'm thinking. What are your thoughts?
Yeah.
You know, like...
I mean, to be fair, a proposal on Christmas? Oh.
Well, I think he wouldn't have done it any other way. It's he knows Paige better than fucking anyone else. So I was sort of like... I thought it was a bit weird, but that's just me.
Yeah, that's just you. But you're not really someone who's been very Christmassy most of your life.
Yeah, exactly. So, but, you know, she's very in the spirit of things and does... That's her thing.
Yeah.
So, you know, for him to do that on one of her more special days, I guess just sort of shown how much...
when you look at it like that, just it's one of her special days. Don't think of what the day is, just one of her special days. It's perfect.
Yeah.
Very, very romantic. Coming from someone who's not in a relationship and probably doesn't have a romantic bone in his body, apart from when he watches porn. But
that's not even a bone though.
then why do they call it boner? Ta-da!
It's just a sausage filled with blood.
It's not a Kransky. But you know, you get what I mean.
Yeah,
you make it as special as possible.
Yeah, that's right.
That's with that's not just with proposal. That's just with everything.
Mm.
Making it as special as possible. You can make someone's birthday as special as possible. Like remember when we made Aden's 21st special? We actually got together and put together a slideshow and whatnot.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And he said he didn't want to do any of that shit, and we did it anyway. And then his dad's section came on, and he did cry.
Yeah.
He tells us to this day he didn't, but bitch, we saw it.
Yeah.
We just we like to make.
It's the same with Rocky's birthday.
Yeah.
You know, we're out at work.
Yep.
Because his birthday party we had the weekend beforehand, so we were out at work, and I told the admin knew she was already had something in the works, but I walked into his office first thing in the morning when I got there. He gets there before us, so I walked in, and the leading hand was already in there. So I sort of waited for them to stop, and I'm like, "Happy birthday, young fella." He looks at me, he goes, "Fuck you, Jordo." Thanks, mate. He hates being made a fuss of. So what did we do?
You made a fuss of him.
Well, Luke just after pre-start finished. Luke's like, "Oh guys, just it's Rocky's birthday today. Can we just make him feel loved?" So we're all clapping and happy birthday. And he looks at Luke. He goes, "You're a fuckhead."
You're a fuckhead. Oh come on! But even Rocky can admit.
You can tell he enjoyed it. He hates being made a fuss of, but that meant something.
Yeah.
So
because it doesn't.
We had someone going into Mackay for a parts run. So we're like, "Oh, just stop in at Moranbah because it's on the way." And Haley ordered some stuff for the birthday. Like we got KFC for everyone. Just as birthday lunch, and we done a birthday breakfast. It's a safety meeting breakfast beforehand. So it was like steak, sausages, eggs, bacon, all that sort of stuff for breakfast.
And a single cupcake with a candle.
I'll get to that. So they come back from the parts run with about 40 donuts from a bakery.
Oh.
A lot of fucking donuts.
Oof.
Chocolates for everyone. Everyone got this little chocolate basket thing from the bakery. They done up as well.
Yep.
And it was a good day. And when we got back to the camp, we went to the mess. And Rocky doesn't usually eat with us. He'll usually leave later. And as soon as we get at camp, we're all straight into the mess and then straight out.
Yeah.
But anyway, Rocky's at the mess with us, and there's about 4 or 5 of us at the table. And I walk over to the dessert section, and they do your square sheet pans. Yeah, well, they do cakes in that sort of thing, so they're not round, they're square.
Yep.
So I grab a little container and I put a little piece of cake in it.
Yep.
And in front of everyone, I said, "Look, Rocky, it's your birthday. Sorry we didn't get you a cake. I hope this will do."
Yeah.
He's sitting there, and I'm standing up. He looks at me. He goes, "You're an absolute fucking asshole, Jordan." And everyone's like, "Oh, happy birthday, Rocky!" Again. I'm like, "Oh, I'll take the cake if you want it." He goes, "No, I'm gonna eat it."
So wait, when he called you an asshole, was he about to cry or something?
No, he's just...
Was he trying not to get any type of emotion?
Yeah.
He was just trying to hide it all.
Yeah. You could tell he was smiling on the inside. He's just trying to not laugh or smile. You're an asshole.
Nah.
But shit like that, just a little thing, just going to get him a tiny little piece of cake from the mess. Yeah. Because we didn't get one. Yeah,
and also considering where you are, it's pretty much your only option. But it's the fact that you go up and you do it. Yeah,
you just take that little bit of initiative.
And I know Rocky. I know Chris. I've seen him at Christmas drinks in the past, and I know for a fact he has emotions.
Yeah.
I know for a fact he has a lot of smiles coming out of him. Not back then, not when I was around, because he didn't like me much back then. But as the years went on, he warmed up.
Yeah.
And he smiles a lot more. And you know what? You can fucking hide it all you want, Rocky. You can be a soft cock for your birthday. It's fine. We'll let it go. We'll let it slide. And no one will give you shit for it. Except Jordan, because he's allowed to.
But just shit like that. Yeah, sort of, doesn't matter whether, Aden's birthday or Rocky's birthday. You're just you know what, let's just make it a little bit special. You do this, if you got young family, you do that as well. You don't have to go the extra mile.
But a little effort wouldn't hurt you.
It wouldn't go astray.
No. I mean, I I'm someone that's in the same boat. I don't usually like to celebrate much these days. Maybe because, most of my birthdays the last few years haven't been special.
Yeah.
I mean, 29. What's 29? 29 is not special. 30 will be special. I'm not looking forward to next year and all you cunts are going to do to me.
Well, 29 is like...
29 is the new 28.
It's like 23. No one likes you when you're 23.
Yeah, well, no one... Well, in my case, it's no one likes you when you're 23. Then the next year, no one likes you when you're 24. And you just keep it going. And it's like, hey, you're 30. No one likes you when you're 31. It's like, I don't know. That saying to me, no one likes you when yada yada. Like, yeah, back then it would have been funny, but these days it's like, it's just a birthday.
Yeah.
It's just a day.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, if
this year I had fucking COVID 2 days before my birthday. Like,
yeah.
I pretty much spent my birthday in my fucking bedroom.
And then there's Aden's birthday. I don't even think he did anything for his either.
Nah.
Like, all three of us, we didn't do anything. But then, next year after you guys have your 29th, then there's the big 30 for me, and then you guys have your 30th the next year. I don't know what the fuck I'm going to do for your 30th. And I don't know what the fuck I'm going to do for Aiden's, living in Brisbane. He's a cunt to organise shit for now, isn't he?
No, just
put up a big post on Facebook. Look, it's all I can do. You're too far away. I'll fucking post you a present. I don't know. I'll post you a big black dildo. Happy 30th. We got Dev. Speaking of making something special, obviously next year's the big 18th for Devon, right? Yeah. I've got a plan. Edward Scissorhand.
Yeah.
I'm making Devon Edward Dildo Hand. I'm getting tape and two big black dildos, strapping them to his hand, and he's gonna walk around. It's like, happy 18th, you skinny fuck. And if he doesn't say I'm Edward Dildo Hand, I'm slapping him. I'm gonna do it.
Slap him with the dildo.
Slap him with his own hand. But that I thought of it the other day. I'm like, that is perfect.
Yeah.
That is what you do to the little brother.
Yeah.
That is what you do to the youngest of the family. Hey, Jordan, how's your 30th? If your sisters won't do it to you, I'll do it for your 30th.
No, it's still got a long way to go. Yours is more dangerous.
Yeah, mine's next year. Yeah. Oh, fucking hell. You already know that there's an extra clip added to next year's video.
Yep, fuck no.
Fuck!
But, back on the Christmas, right?
Yeah.
Now that we're getting older, does it feel more like a Hallmark holiday?
Do you want me... if I'm being honest, it's... To me, Christmas lately has just felt like a day you're guaranteed to have off if you're not working at a mine or working away from home. It just... Most people, it's just a day they're guaranteed to not work.
Yeah.
And also with that in mind, with Australians in particular, it's a day you're guaranteed to find someone on the piss. That's all it is to me. But, I mean, we try to make it as special as we can. I mean, in our household, we don't even celebrate Christmas on Christmas.
Yeah.
We wait till Dad's not working.
Yeah.
And then we do Christmas after. And that's still another 2 years of doing that. Because of the fact that if you had it on a mine site, obviously, you do 7 Christmases in a row, and then you get 7 in a row. Yeah. So Dad's doing year 5 right now.
Yeah.
And then 2 years, and then he's home for him, and then it'll probably start feeling like Christmas again. But last few years haven't. It hasn't felt like a few years now. It hasn't felt like Christmas. I don't know if that's depressing.
I think even since 2020 really. Because everyone was in lockdown and we couldn't go anywhere or do anything. And
it just doesn't feel like it anymore, does it?
No, I guess it's taking the wind out of our sails.
Well, considering that COVID did take the wind out of everyone.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? I think it's sort of flatlined a bit.
I just thought of a very dark joke that wasn't even funny, and I'm not even going to say it. Flatlined, talking about COVID. Yeah, it's not the only thing COVID caused to flatline.
Yeah, exactly.
It's fucking awful. That was awful from... Oh, my God. I should see myself out, but I'm part of this, so I need to keep going.
You can fuck off now.
No. No, I'm good. I got it. I even acknowledged it was awful. Christmas hasn't felt like Christmas for me. No. But then again, before COVID, it started to not feel like Christmas for me. For a few years before.
Yeah, but you're getting older too. Yeah,
I don't feel the magic.
No.
I don't really... There's nothing I feel about it. Like I said, it's just another day.
A day off, yeah.
It's like with birthdays, New Year's, Easter. They're all just days to me now.
Yeah.
They just... If I'm not working, cool.
Woohoo!
If I'm working the public holiday of any of those days, awesome.
Yeah.
Good payday. Still pissed I'm not this year. Didn't get any Christmas public holiday this year at all.
Oh, really?
Yeah, none. Not even.
Yeah, that's right. Monday and Tuesday are public holidays too, eh?
Yeah, because you got Boxing Day is on the Monday, so that's actually the public holiday, and then the Tuesday's the Christmas public holiday.
Yeah.
So, I got neither of those, and I didn't get any New Year public holiday either, because we are shut for New Year's.
Yep.
But I don't get any this year. I can't complain. I'm still working a lot, starting the 28th after the public holidays are over. Yeah. And I'm on call today, which, by the way, I need to check my phone.
You're not loved.
No, I'm not. No, I've got to keep checking because they'll just message me, can you come in, or can you, like today, it's, can you come in, or the other one is, can you come pick up something from this shop, drop it off at the other, pick up something from that shop, drop it off back here. Do runs. Yeah. That's all I'd be asked to do today. I don't get paid for that second one.
What?
Yeah. So
that's illegal.
Yeah, I know. I'd say no to that one.
Yeah, but
I know it's illegal.
That's illegal.
I know it's illegal. But
if you get asked to do work duties, regardless, it's a 3 to 4 hour.
I'm not defending it. I'm not defending it. I'm not saying I'd do it either. Yeah. I'd be asked to do it. I'd be like, no. I got more important stuff to do. And what's that? If I'm not getting paid for it, anything. Yeah, exactly. I mean, fuck's sake. I've got, like, what was that? I just had it. Like, I've got another project working on for my channel. Yeah. I'd rather focus on that than doing that. Which I haven't focused on for a few days. Don't tell anyone. I've kind of given myself a break from it. But with all that being said about it not being special, let's move on to the next part of this episode that we've already planned. You wanted to talk about it. You're the one that brought up this topic when we were discussing it, so we'll get into it. The mining industry. You've been there for nearly a whole year now. Now, I'm not going to say what wisdom do you have to impart.
I'm half certified to talk on this topic, I think. I've been there long enough.
Sure, we'll go with that. No, you've been there for a bit. You do know some things. You know, bit this, bit of that. And considering what your job is, you do kind of understand certain ins and outs of each job. Because you kind of go see each job for what you do.
I see fucking everything.
Yeah. What you say is different, but you see everything.
Yeah, exactly. No, there's been days there where I've gone into every single fucking pit.
And you've just gone
in the mine site and just gone, oh, this guy's doing it this way. Why isn't he doing it this way? Oh, that's because he's going to do this to do that. Oh, right.
And then the other times you're like, why is he doing it? Like, oh, that's right, because he's lazy cunt. Gotcha.
Yeah, no, exactly.
So now we'll go with your general knowledge of nearly a whole year of working on a mine site, right?
Yeah.
I guess we'll get started with some of the simple things. Like, for instance, there will be viewers that won't have any fucking idea what happens on a mine site, right?
Yeah.
Me, I don't work on a mine site. I have some general basic knowledge, so I didn't really have a lot to talk about, really, because you can pretty much cover it in a lot more detail than for what I know. But to start with, you are a service truck, correct?
Yeah.
So most people don't understand what service truck is. What exactly do you do to start with?
Essentially, when you take your car into mechanics to get a service, think of the opposite. I don't spin filters on... I can, but I don't. That's for the fitters. So I don't spin filters on any machine.
No.
For lack of better terms, I just give people grease, oils, and diesel.
Yeah.
So I'll pull up to a machine, hook my hose on, fill them full of diesel, generally, and that's me. I keep going on my merry way.
And this is something that you do, what you're supposed to do. I won't let you go on a rant about it, but what you're supposed to do is mainly for like your specific section, correct?
Yes. So you think on a mine site, you've got, 1, 2, 3, or 4 different departments, just like you would think at Woolies, right? That's how I sort of thought about it. Was you've got your different sections, but then you've got someone that covers that, and then the boss, right?
Yeah,
it's completely fucking different.
Yeah,
you've got show data to dartboard. You've probably got 20 different crews depending on the mine site. You got 20 different departments.
Yep.
And then each of them have got supervisors, and then you've got a superintendent for that specific department, and then you've got your bosses above them, superintendents, and then a boss above that, and then your SSE. So your site senior executive. He's the be all or end all.
Basically, if you see him and you're doing something wrong, you're fucked.
If you see the SSE, the OCO, or the OCE, and
basically
you're doing
steps 1, 2, and 3 in terms of leadership.
Yeah, if one of them see you doing slightly the wrong thing, they will walk you out the gate.
Yeah.
We had a visit there by the OCO, I think, and it was nothing bad. We hadn't done anything bad, but he's a real stickler for rolling your sleeves up. And I have been told he's marched guys out the gate for having their sleeves half rolled up before.
Really?
Just up to their elbows, yeah.
Really?
Yep.
But you're like, okay, to put it simply, you're an open cut.
Yeah, but it's part of the dress code.
Oh, it's part of the dress code.
Sleeves have to be rolled down at all times.
See, I hate that. That would suck during summer, eh?
Yeah, it does. So the shirt's quite breathable though, so it's not too bad. But yeah, when you start to sweat and your arms get real sweaty, it does get real sticky. And
is he okay with like if you're just getting sweat off, or you're just trying to cool down and then you put it back down just after a little like minute?
If you're washing your hands or something, then yeah, that's fair enough.
Yeah,
but
that's a good excuse.
Otherwise, no, it's sleeves rolled down.
Well, I guess it's part of the dress code. I'd say that's fair, but that's still shit.
Yeah, it is what it is. So yeah, my job essentially entails me to go all over the mine site, onto different benches, down into a pit, down onto fucking somewhere that you probably wouldn't even take you for a drive.
No,
because you're driving all up there fucking. Essentially, it's a spoil pit, so it's just a big mountain that the mines have created. When they've moved dirt, they've put them from Section A, they've dug them out of the hole, and they've put them into a big mound. It's called a spoil, right? It's just all rock, it's overburdened.
Yeah.
So a dozer will be working up there, just levelling out the spoil, so it's sort of nice and uniform rather than steps.
Yeah. And
he'll be working up there, so I've got a truck up there in my truck to go see him and fill him up.
Yeah.
As for oils, like I can be with the fitters doing in-field servicing or in-pit servicing, and depending on the machine, that can take a couple of hours or that can take all day, depending on whether I'm needed, because I can suck out all the waste oils, fill them all up with new oils. Same with we've got 777 dump trucks, so they're in relative size, they're quite a small dump truck. You think of like a garbage truck, for instance. The tyre for a 777 is probably nearly as long as a garbage truck from front to back, and about as tall and about as wide as a garbage truck.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll get a call from one of them saying, hey, I need some hydraulic oil, or I need some steering, transmission, whatever.
Yeah.
And when I'm down giving them service, so fuels, oils, grease, making sure the grease points are fine, whether I've got to manually grease it or fill up the auto grease box, whatever.
So you could say in general that what your job entails is you basically just make sure that these very heavy rigs, these machines, all of them, you just make sure they keep running.
Yep.
And they're topped up with all the essentials.
Yep.
Like oil, coolant,
yep,
fuel,
yep,
whatever. You're the guy that makes sure that as long as they have all this stuff, they should still be able to run.
Yep.
And that is you.
Yep.
And not to toot your own horn, but you're not the only one out there anyway doing it.
Oh fuck no. No, there's on my site alone
14, I believe.
Yeah, I dare say about 14. That's a rough stab in the dark. When you think of it on a grand scheme of things, you look at a mine site on a map, for instance, and between each pit there's probably 2 or 3 crib huts, so they're like a donga, I guess, in a sense, where you've got your aircon, your fridge, microwave, all that sort of stuff. They're all run off generators, and each generator has either got an internal or an external fuel pod. And
they're usually watched by one specific guy each shift, in a nutshell.
The crib huts get done essentially twice a week.
Yep.
So because a generator won't chew through that much fuel.
No.
So you're looking at 950 liters of fuel pod, which most people think, holy shit, 950 liters. Like he'll go through that in maybe a week, but you top it up, twice a week. So say you do it on a Wednesday and then a Tuesday, for me, that's your first day of swing, your last day of swing. You just do that.
Yeah.
But then we've got, Legra pumps. So they're just a big water transfer pump. So you think of like an air pump that you would pump up your pool, your inflatable pool with.
Yep.
You know how you sit there and and it pumps up, it's sucking air from this way and pushing it like that. Yeah. So you think of it like that, but a big fucking water pump, right?
Oh yeah.
Big fucking water pump. They've got an internal tank on them of 2,000 litres.
Yeah.
They'll go through one of them in 24 hours.
Yeah.
So generally speaking, they'll always have an external tank attached to them, which can be 5,000 to 6,000 litres. So if that's the case, you pretty much just do them every day just to keep on top of it. So that way, if it runs out, you're not getting pulled from our side at breakfast time to get it done.
Yeah. And that's just a basic description of your job. There's a few ins and outs that we could go into, but we'll try to keep it simple.
Yeah, kiss it.
Yeah.
Keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah, keep it simple, stupid. So there will be a few people that might hear this and they'll go, well, how'd you even get the job in the first place? Like, what is some ways you describe of how you get onto a mine site to work? How would you put it? Because I know there's a fair few ways you can.
There is a lot of ways to get on a mine site. One of the probably easiest ways I would say is if you come from a civil background.
Yep.
So road construction or working for main roads, for instance, driving diggers or graders.
Yep.
Making new highways, making new roads, stuff like that.
Yep.
That's probably one of the easiest ways to get a foot on the door if you've got machinery experience.
Yeah, and this isn't, because obviously you jump from roadwork machinery to mine site machinery. Obviously, the difference is obviously the size.
Yeah.
But if you have a general basic knowledge of the small one, you can apply it and start learning the big one.
Yeah, exactly right. Well, you look at, if you've driven around Australia or, down in Brisbane or towards the sunny coast where they're doing that new highway between Brisbane and the sunny coast.
Yeah.
When you have a look at some of the graders, they're like a Cat 140M grader. All that pretty much means is the blade on that grader is 14 foot.
Yeah.
Right? On our crew, on our site, we do civil works for the mine site. So we've got two 14s and a 16M grader. So they're not much bigger than what you would see in town.
You literally have civil sized.
Yeah.
You've got them. If you already know how to drive one of those and you need to hire someone who has the experience of driving that specific machinery.
You can do that, yeah.
And you literally, that's already, boom, foot the door, done.
So the biggest we've got on site's a 24M grader, so
24 metres.
24 feet.
Oh, 24 feet, sorry, not metres. I heard 24M, I'm like, 24 metres, yes.
No, the M is the series of the grader.
Yeah.
So an old H grader has literally got a steering wheel and about 6 levers on each side to do your adjustments.
Yeah.
An M series grader has got 2 joysticks.
Yeah.
So you've got your blade controls one side, your articulation, your steering on the other.
Yeah.
So yeah, the big mining that do the haul roads, stuff like that, they use the 24M on the haul road.
Yeah. So yeah, that's one way to get on though.
Probably the easiest way I found to get on a mine site, if you literally have no experience at all.
Apprenticeship, traineeship?
Could be, or do a mine site cleaner. Work for ESS is the first one that comes to mind because they do our site.
Yep.
They will, if you're keen, interested, and have got your standard 11. So your standard 11 is essentially your industry blue card or industry white card to get into the mine site. You can't get onto a coal mining mine site without a standard 11.
Now there is a catch with the standard 11, of course. There are 2 types. You've got open cut, you've got underground.
Yeah.
So depending on what one you get, that will allow you certain access to those mines. So if you get a stand 11 underground, I don't think they let you onto an open.
Well,
cut
it's both.
Well, yeah, that gets both. But if you get an open cut, you can't go on.
No, that's right, because it's a separate course.
Yeah, and underground, from my experience with underground and what I know about it, underground is an extremely dangerous and hazardous job.
Fucking oath it is.
It is a literally, it can kill you. It can end your life.
Yep.
So underground pays a lot more, if for those who are interested. It also is...
It comes with a lot more risks.
Yes. So underground is something that if you think you're up for it, that is something you look into. But if you're someone that likes, like me, or not like a lot of people, you want the job, but you don't want to risk your life that much. I mean, to be fair, it's a mine site. You're still going to get your life put in danger at some point. But decrease the risk and go for an open cut if you're someone that doesn't want to risk it.
Yeah, that's right. So, and nowadays you don't pay for your own coalboard medical.
No, that's usually done by the mine site. No,
the company. So whoever you're going to work for, whether it's
BHP, BMA, Thies.
I'm thinking Thies, Workpac, recruitment agencies, labour hire companies, they have to pay for your stand 11.
Yeah, that's true.
Whether they put it into your contract or not, it is illegal for you to pay it back.
Yeah.
So that is under legislation. You don't have to pay it back.
Yet they do try to.
Yes, they do, but it's illegal for you to pay for medical costs.
And also, it's pennies for them, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, exactly right.
So they shouldn't be asking you, who's just started, who probably got the job, and you don't have a lot to your name, maybe.
Yeah.
That's a bit much to ask you to do for someone who just...
Yeah, well, your coalboard medical can cost up to like $1,100.
Yeah, it's not cheap. It's not cheap for the everyday man. It's not something that an everyday man would go, I can just go get this and have it just in case.
Yeah, exactly right.
I mean...
You know, like at the end of the day, my advice for anyone that wanting to enter a mine site would be get your stand 11, get your minimum HR truck license, and go through an RTA, Registered Training Authority, and get your bulk water ticket.
And do water truck.
It's everyone, you will be amongst... 10 people that are standing at the door waiting to get in, but it gives you some experience. Even if you go do civil work with water truck, you've got some experience on how that piece of machinery operates.
Yeah. If we said piss of machinery, I'm like, water truck, piss, I get it. But there was another thing that went through my mind too.
Yeah, so, you can operate that piece of machinery, and that, that's fine.
Yeah. Now let's go over one of the ways that piss other people off about how people get on the mine site. Knowing someone.
Yeah.
That can piss other people off if they don't have the connections. They see it as unjust and unfair. Like
nepotism.
Like, it's very shitty when you're sitting there like, the supervisor decided his fucking nephew again. Like, when you hear that type of stuff, that is shit.
It does. It can rattle a few feathers.
And it's not just with mine sites. That's pretty much everywhere.
Yeah, that's right. It's who you know, not what you know.
But with mine sites in particular, it pisses people off.
Oh, it does.
Because a lot of the fact is, it's been proven a lot that sometimes this nepotism doesn't work out because who they hire is, to put it in the words of a miner that I know, useless piece of shit.
Yeah.
And, has a stick up their ass.
And thinks they're unfireable because they know someone. And
then they usually get fired.
Yeah, but I want to say majority of the time, let's say 7 times out of 10.
7 times. That's
okay, I'm gonna say 7 times out of 10 that is not the case.
No, it's not.
It's maybe that 1, 2 or 3 people that come on site, and that's what creates your purple circle.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've heard it. A lot of people won't hear it, but if you're working for quite a big company, and if you're on a mine site, right, and say you're working for pre-strip or coal mining or whatever, you've got one digger, maybe a loader on that circuit. You will literally run that one circuit all day. So you'll be with that 20 to 30 people interacting on the two-way with that 20 or 30 people on that circuit. When you go for cribs, they try and stagger them for cribs, right? Cribs just another word for a smoker or a lunch break. It's a miner's term.
I like how you had to stop your explanation and go, crib, by the way.
Yeah. So, you know, your purple circle would be maybe a manager, the person, or say supervisor, leading hand, the person they brought on board with them, and then close friends of that person. So you'll have 5 people in what they call a purple circle. Is these people think they're untouchable, and they're all really close together, and they don't give a fuck about everyone else. They'll talk to each other and not talk to anyone else, and conspire, and you know that's where some rumors and stuff get made up.
Yeah.
So a lot of people hate the purple circle, and I'm fortunate because our crew, essentially, we're all in the purple circle.
Oh, lovely.
You know, everyone on my crew talks to each other. We all throw banter. Like I've said to a few of them, if we're not hanging shit on each other, there's something wrong.
Yeah.
That's quite literal. Like, you could be sit there, you could have the worst day in the world, but someone will throw shit on you and it'll make you laugh.
Yeah.
And it's, it's not malicious. And they will, say, oh, fuck, you got a head like a drop meat pie or something, or...
Sorry.
Yeah, something simple as that, but it makes you laugh. You're like, thanks, that just cheered me up.
Yeah.
And I know with us in our group, if you say that, oh, what's wrong? It opens that conversation. So that's good. Getting off track though.
Yeah.
It's to a degree who you know, not what you know. Yeah. Like for me, being on a service car, I have somewhat of. I'm mechanically minded. I can service my own vehicle, all that sort of stuff. I've never been on a service car before. I didn't know the ins and outs of it, but I got thrown a lifeline, and I said to myself, I'm going to prove anyone and everyone wrong that's ever doubted me in my life, and I'm going to make this opportunity to make some money work for me.
Yep.
And that's what I've done. If you walk into a job that someone else has gotten you and think, oh, I'm unsackable, you're the first person to go.
Usually. With you, like, now this is basically when you were getting hired. Let's be real. You were thrown a very decent lifeline because you know the supervisor.
Someone, yeah.
You know Rocky. Now, how you know Rocky doesn't matter. It's the fact that you knew him and you were able to get a job out there. You tell people that immediately, they're going to go, oh, nepotism straight away.
Yeah.
But as someone who watched you get the job from a distance, you worked your fucking ass off to be able to get the job. You didn't just walk on the mine site and get everything handed to you. You had to get your Stand 11, you went and got your medical done, you...
Went and got my HR and went and got my service card out of light. I literally spent nearly $3,000 to get on site.
Yeah, you literally spent the money to get a lot of the qualifications you need. You spent the time and the effort to get it as well before you even got the job. And you got the job.
It wasn't even guaranteed either.
No, because that's something a lot of people don't understand. Yes, there will be times where this nepotism stuff, their person is guaranteed a job. But that's not all the time. There are times that you're required to actually put the fucking effort in, but you're not going to get the job.
Yeah, that's right. Even beforehand, like, before we moved to Brisbane and, you and myself, before we moved to Brisbane, I wouldn't have ever lasted out on a mine site.
No.
Not in a million years, but I had to not pull myself up by my bootstraps, but I think I did. I had to learn how to save fucking money and not spend it and be a dickhead and buy cartons of piss every weekend, that sort of shit.
Yeah.
I had to really learn how to save my money. And I think that me chasing a savings goal gave me a purpose to work harder. And then that's what's I've shown up out there. Like, I don't rarely ever get fucking compliments. Just because it's not part of my job. I get a lot of thank yous, but not a lot of compliments. No. And I got a couple of compliments when we had a Christmas party. It was, a lot of them were saying, look, I didn't think you were going to last, but you fucking blew me out the water, and, I'm proud of you for doing that. And that wasn't just family. That was guys at work that have never seen me before. They're like, you do what most other people do in a full day. You do it in half a day because you get in and get it done and get out. You don't sit there and talk to fucking every cunt for an hour and then wondering why you're behind time, or you'll spend your morning or a solid 5 hours up the northern end of the mine, so far away from your crib art, and it's not until you are empty and all your jobs are done up there, you'll go back, have crib. Sometimes my crib can be a sandwich, a shit, and a smoke, and then I'm refreshed and I get back in the truck and I keep going doing my duties. Where some other people will fuck the dog and spend 45 minutes per crib doing fuck all, playing with themselves in a toilet or something. And that sort of shit pisses me off, because some people think, because he's got the job and he knew someone, he's got it easy, and
no,
that's entirely not the case at all. That's another thing that shits you off, not just a mine site, but just anywhere, is laziness.
Yep.
And a lot of people don't like it when I call them out on their laziness, and I say to them, stop fucking the dog. I said, it's not a fucking poodle, stop fucking it, get back on your fucking truck and go do your job. A lot of people don't like that because they're so used to taking 45-minute crib breaks every day. And when I see that after I've just been busting my ass in 40 plus degree heat,
it just shits you to tears.
Yeah, exactly.
And to go back to the compliment thing, there's one time in particular after you got this job that I saw I heard it in your voice, genuine surprise and happiness when you described it to me, and that was when Rocky pulled you aside and said how good of a job you were doing. I think it was like your third or fourth swing. It was very early on when he pulled you aside and said, "You're doing fucking good."
Yeah, just keep doing you.
And for context, Rocky doesn't do that.
No.
And the fact he did it, I think if Jordan had more emotions than he does now, he might have cried. But otherwise, he was like, fucking thanks.
Yeah, exactly right. It was sort of just out of nowhere, and it was like getting a compliment from anyone on our crew is like getting teeth pulled.
Yeah, it's fucking rare. But then again, that's a lot of crews these days.
Exactly right. Unless you've saved someone's life, you're not going to get praise for it.
Yeah.
Which, to a degree, I agree with that. I'm not going to praise you for doing the bare fucking minimum.
Yeah.
But if you go above and beyond and you can hear that in someone's voice on a mine radio or anything like that, then you hey, good job today. I heard you getting called out on the radio for fucking everywhere. So, good on you. You deserve a beer.
Yeah, and that just shows with the nepotism thing, it's not all 10 times.
No, that's right.
So yeah, there's many ways that you can get onto a mine site. We have kind of deviated, but there's a lot to cover with like mine sites in general, because there's more ins and outs than you think.
There's so much paperwork.
There is one thing in particular that this is a very, very simple question. The term dumbass miner, does that actually apply?
Depends on who you talk to.
That is very true.
It depends on who you talk to. Our crew, because we do a lot of civil work, so there's a lot that goes into what we do.
Yeah. I think there's one word in particular that might, change the term dumbass miner. And you just said it before. Paperwork.
Yeah.
Dumbass miners, if you think of what a stereotypical dumbass miner is, paperwork doesn't come to your mind.
No.
But when you're on a mine, paperwork is essential.
But before you do any job, whether it's you're working for FMG, Rio, BHP, BMA, doesn't matter what fucking site you're on, before you start any task, there will always be some form of a JSA, a Take 5, a BMA safe. It doesn't matter who you are. Before you do any job, you need to do that and be aware of what hazards are around you. That's just one thing that every single person on a mine site has to do. Now, even after that, when you do a job, management need to go through processes of JSAs and, scoping work and, okay, how are we going to get this digger to do that work safely? There's that much paperwork is involved, and you'll be surprised management are fucking smart. When the term dumbass miner, I guess, is about, you think of in my mind, a water truck operator and a dump truck operator. Because with a dump truck operator, pretty much all your guesswork is taken out for you. All you literally do is sit there and follow a white line that's on the screen in front of you.
And then bucket, down, go back. I guess. I mean,
Yeah, it's
a lot more...
I'm simplifying it because someone that's been in the mining industry, that is a dump truck operator, not a dump truck operator.
Dump truck operator. Well, hey,
look,
to be fair, the way you're describing it, we're not far off it. Come on.
If you get a good dump truck operator, they're worth their weight in gold. It's because you're driving unloaded. You're driving a 200-ton piece of machinery. You're literally driving a 2, sometimes 3-story house on wheels.
Oh, yeah.
So for you to angle in under the digger, the loader, whatever, correctly, each and every time, go up to a tip head. So essentially a tip head is where you tip off your load of overburden, not coal, but overburden. So you've got to back up to that tip head enough so your tyres touch the end of the bund, pull over. Yeah, if you do that and get that spot on every time, you've done well. But the reason why I call them dump truck operators is they have different mine sites have got different systems in place. Ours, we've got MineStar, which I think are most BMA sites. It's controlled by your screen's essentially controlled by people in Brisbane.
Yeah.
So they tell you, right, you're running this load from loader 221 to the coal stockpile 04, or you're going under digger 62 and you're dumping that at the RL220 dump. Now, a lot of these numbers and shit won't mean a lot to other people unless you know mining. So you'll come up under that digger and go follow a white line. It's like GPS. Follow a little white line up to where you tip off and then you come back. It's at least once an hour where someone will call up control, which is our mine control.
Yep. We'll
go, hey control, it's RD266 here. Can you put my white line back on my MineStar? Now,
if you've been running the same white line all day, why would it fucking change?
Exactly right. Exactly fucking right.
If it disappears and you still don't know the route, have you actually been paying attention, or have you just been watching the GPS?
Yeah, exactly. That's. Now, watercard operators are a little different. They don't have. They've got MineStar, but they don't have the GPS.
No.
So they're free to move up and down the pits as they seem fit, the haul roads, corridors, everything. And they have this little box beside them. They have 3 sprayers, the big ones anyway. 2 butters and your center spray. All they've got to do is not heavily water up and down a ramp and water an intersection.
And they even fucked that up.
Yeah. So it's not hard to drive around in a fucking truck because you get free roam essentially across the side. And you're driving around, you hit your spray, oh, look at me, I'm watering a fucking road. It's not that fucking hard. And yet these people can't even fucking do that right. So, for me, the term dumb cunt miner,
dumbass miner or
whatever,
that's them too.
Exactly. Because it's all the guesswork taken out.
Yeah. I mean, water truck operators haven't really been notorious for being a little out there. And then you got the dump truck. If you're really good in a dump truck and you've never even used the GPS, you get told by radio, no GPS required, and you know the route without any guesswork, then...
Well, it's going to be on your GPS. It's going to be on your screen all day, every day.
Yeah. But if you never use it...
Yeah, exactly right.
If you're a truckie that never uses it...
Yeah, exactly right. But it's not even just that. It's you're worth your weight in gold when you can go under a digger and a loader correctly and tip off without getting yelled at by the dozer operator.
Yeah, that's the best part. Because that's what I've heard too. If you're a dumpy that never pisses off a dozer operator, you're doing your job.
Yeah, exactly
you're doing
right.
it well. But if you're a dumpy that gets yelled at by the dozer once an hour, you're a fucking retard.
Yeah, exactly. But when it comes to, dozers, diggers, graders,
yep,
your big three,
they
are quite smart. Grader operators in a mine site don't need to worry about final trim or anything like that. So the roads don't have to be fucking perfect because slightest bit of rain, the road's going to blow out anyway. Yeah. So essentially, with a grader, you put your cut, you bring your reel back across, you get some water on it, your road's done. It's not that hard.
Yeah. And from my experience, those big three are usually a lot more interesting to do in general. So, and when you hear miners talk about, that they like that position better, that they're not a dumbass.
Yeah, exactly. There's with every job, there's always going to be a little niche and little quick quirks about it. That's fine. It's part of any job, but at the end of the day, not everyone's a dumbass miner. Yeah, there is some fucking dumb cunts out there. I'll be the first person to say that. But, you just got to talk to just some of them, and that's it.
Yeah, and this is just to clarify as well. What we mean by dumbass miner is, in this sense of the word, a dumbass that can't do his job right.
Yeah.
So there is another way...
In a work sense, but also
there is another terminology.
I would call a dumbass miner someone that goes into the mining industry without a 5 to 10 year plan. Because for whatever reason you get kicked off site, you're not earning $50, $60 an hour anymore. You can't just, as soon as you go out there, you can't get a house and a car and fucking put everything on finance, whatever. You need to think about short but long term goals as well. Where you're gonna still be on the same site in 5 years. Is that mine going to close down and go on a care and maintenance? Is it going to be in rehab? You got to think of those sorts of things as well and have a plan in place.
Yep. And the other way that the term dumbass miner is used is, it's a miner and he's just not right. You just talk to him and you just immediately go, "Oh, you're a dumb cunt."
Lights are on, but no one's home.
Yeah, and to be fair, there's more of those because as soon as it's not work related, there are some miners that just crumble. But when you put them in their element in the job, lights on, and they're at it.
Yeah.
So, but there are many different ways that dumbass miner is used, but what we just covered majority of is the one that most people will probably think of.
Yeah.
However, there is another way that it's used, and that's describing some miner who's just started his job, falls into the category, and just is spending all his money.
Yep.
Straight away. I will give one. There's only one time I will accept someone spending all their paycheck. If I've got in mind, that's the first paycheck, because that is going to probably be the first time you see such a large sum of money deposited into your bank, and you're going to go, "Holy fuck, celebration!"
Yeah.
And that's fine. You can do that, but after that, screw your head on.
Yeah, pretty much. You've got to have an exit plan essentially as well.
Yeah.
With that, we're talking about shifts, right?
Yeah.
So you've got generally everywhere's pretty much going to have the same 12-hour shift, depending on whether it's generally it's going to be 6 o'clock start, 6 o'clock finish.
Yeah.
Sometimes I know Feast on our mine site is 6 till 6:30.
Yep.
Because I think on their last day they get to go at 4 or something. So it sort of makes up.
Yes.
But they still do their 84 hours for the fortnight.
Yeah.
But then you've got your different swings.
Yeah.
So you've got 7 and 7, 2 and 1, so 14 and 7, 2 weeks on, 1 week off.
There's one called the 5-4-4-5.
That's your lifestyle roster, air quotes, lifestyle roster.
Yeah, it's okay.
That's 5-4, 4-5, 5-5. Then some people do a 6 and 6 roster. So I know some of the BMA service carts on our site do a 6 and 6 roster. They'll do 3 days, 3 nights, and finish night shift.
There's one I know of. It's the 2-1-2, which is you work 2 day shifts, pajama day, 2 night shifts, and then you go home.
Yeah.
And that one.
And then they do, like over in WA, they do 7 days and 7 nights. So 7 days, pajama day, 7 nights.
Yep. And then there's the classic 7-7, which we all know. You already said it, but to clarify, 7 days on, 7 days off.
Yep, then 7 days nights.
Yep.
Then 7 days off. So you'll work a rotating roster like that.
And then there's the really weird other 7-7, which is yours, which is you do 7 days, 7 days off, and then you do 7 days again. You don't do night shifts.
No, fuck no.
Yeah.
Fuck no. No way am I doing night shifts. If there was actually an offer come up for a water cart for night shift, and I looked at me, I'm like, fuck no. I'm not doing night shift. I couldn't do it. I don't think I would have it in myself to do night shift.
Yeah. So what about... So you probably look at someone that does 7 days, comes home, and then does 7 nights and comes home. Would you...
They're a stronger person than I am.
I'll let Dad I'll tell Dad that you said that.
I couldn't do it.
Yeah, I know you couldn't. You've told me multiple times you could never do it.
No.
But that is something that a lot of people that don't know anything as well, they got to keep in mind. If you know a miner that keeps saying different day shifts or night shifts, they are doing both.
Yeah. And
they probably deserve more respect than what you might be giving them, or...
Yeah, well, you can just imagine most people can't do, say 6 to 8 hours of a night shift. Whether that's start at 6, finish at midnight, start at 6 p.m, finish at 2 a.m. Yeah. These guys are quite literally doing 6 p.m. to 6 a.m.
They are doing the full 12 hours
of a night shift. They are watching the sun go down and sunrise. So
they do lose their minds over it sometimes.
That's why a lot of fatigue in the mining sector, mining oil and gas sector, is so prevalent. I want to say, yeah. It's everyone knows about it. If you are fatigued in any way, shape, or form, you pull up. Whether you're on the mine site or you're driving home. That's why we often go out to work the day beforehand. So my roster is Wednesday to Tuesday, and I drive out to camp on a Tuesday.
Yep.
And I drive home on a Wednesday, because by our fatigue management plans, which can be used against us in a court of law if we break it, we have to stay that extra day. Or if you are driving home, you need to bus it. So I know some people bus it, or have multiple people in the car and you take turns.
Yeah.
So with your fatigue management plan, you say you're obligated to be awake for no more than 16 hours. So that's from the time you wake up until the time you get home.
Yeah.
So say for instance, I lived in Mackay. I could legally get home to Mackay after a 12-hour shift, because I would be up at 5 a.m. or say 5 to 5 in the morning.
Yep.
I drive my car out to site, or from Moranbah to the BP. If anyone knows where I'm talking about, they know where I'm talking about. The BP outside Moranbah. You leave your car at the BP, and then when you finish your shift, you get dropped off at the BP and you travel 130 k's home. So your travel time can't exceed 14 hours. Your awake time can't exceed 16 hours.
Yeah.
So if I was to drive to Rockhampton, I would definitely have to carpool, or fatigue room, or stay the night.
Yeah. There's also the option. There are some mine sites out there that offer the BIBO or FIFO, okay, FIFO or BIBO. You got bus in, bus out, and fly in, fly out. That takes out a lot of that travel. A lot of that fatigue is eliminated.
Yeah. Because
you can sleep on a plane or bus, and this is both ways. If you're lucky enough, if you're someone that's listening to this and you want to get on a mine site and you hear this term, either of those terms being used at a job you're looking at and have a chance at, count your blessings. That's not it's not everywhere.
It's not very common unless you're FIFO from WA.
Yeah, if you're FIFO from WA, then you're always going to be FIFO.
Yeah.
Some people that live in Brisbane are FIFO too. Don't forget. A lot of
Yeah. They fly out from Brisbane to Moranbah Airport or Dysart, wherever.
Yeah, and
but living in Central Queensland, Rocky, Mackay,
you don't get a lot of options.
No, most of the time it's bus in, bus out,
and bus in, bus out is a godsend in itself.
Well, depending on what site you're at too, because like Vermont, for instance, it's predominantly Thies.
Yes.
I don't know whether it's a Thies run site or not, but it's predominantly Thies.
I believe it is a Thies run
site. So their bus in, bus out caters, that Greyhound Resources caters to that mine site.
Yeah.
Now, we have in Moranbah, Goonyella, Goon Riverside, Pig Downs, I don't think Saraji, Caval Ridge, and maybe a couple of mines here and there.
Yeah.
So we have to conform to Greyhound Resources their bus times from Mackay. If you are flying from Brisbane to Mackay and then trying to get out to Moranbah, you need to follow the Greyhound bus schedule. We can't just finish work and then a bus takes us to Mackay. It doesn't happen like that.
You have to wait for the bus.
Exactly right. So where I know Thies at Lake Vermont, they can get, I'm not too sure, so don't quote me on it, but once they finish work, they can be home that night. Because after they finish work, they'll pack the bus and then the bus will drive them home on a Tuesday night.
Yeah, okay, so with a day shift, yes, they'll be home that Tuesday night.
Yeah.
With night shift, they're home the Wednesday morning.
Yes, that's right. So they'll leave there after their night shift on Wednesday morning. Yeah. So they'll be home midday Wednesday.
Yes. And this goes for going away too. With the day shift, you are gone by Tuesday afternoon. You are already on the bus Tuesday afternoon, heading out to start work Wednesday.
Wednesday, yeah, that's right.
But there is the night shift. You leave Wednesday morning and you're there working that night. Yeah,
that's right. So that's, for some other people, if you're doing a day and night shift roster in the same swing, that's your pajama day. So, Wednesday morning you'll leave, say Rockhampton, Glasson, whatever, 8 o'clock, 8, 10 o'clock, whatever. You get out to your camp. You might give yourself a couple of hours nap and then start your night shift.
Yeah. So the lifestyle of a miner can be rough if you're someone that goes in between day and night.
Yep.
Fatigue management is indeed a bitch.
Yep. And it's so important.
It is so important. And it is very encouraged that you do not push yourself too much or you will cause an accident on a mine site. An accident on a mine site can result in death. No matter who you are.
Yeah, a lot of people talk about the Swiss cheese effect. The holes in the Swiss cheese.
Yes.
When all the holes line up, someone's dead.
Someone's dead.
So that's why everyone says, be careful out on a mine site. They don't care if the job takes an extra hour to do, as long as you sit back, think about your surroundings and be safe.
Basically, if you can do it safely.
Yep.
And if you can't do it safely, don't do it.
Well, that's right. You get your manager involved and then they will come up, risk assess what needs to be happening and then put something in place.
Yeah.
For you to do your job safely.
And that's something that a lot of people don't understand. While the mine sites are very dangerous and hazardous, both open cut and especially underground.
But they're not the number one unsafest job.
No, they're not.
Do you know what is number one?
What?
A forklift operator in a warehouse.
Yeah.
They have the most accidents per calendar year than a mine. I think a mine's like number 5 or number 6.
I believe they're number 5 this year. I'm trying to remember. I remember the statistic. I just read it literally the other day. I'm pretty sure this year it was number 5.
Yeah.
I believe last year it was number 5 and the year before was 6.
I
don't know. But you're not far off at the 5 and 6 rankings. But a lot of people don't understand that with the amount of precautions that are taken on a mine site, it's actually a lot more safe than you think.
Yep. If something does go wrong, I'm going to say 80% of the time, it's operator error.
Yeah, it's operator error.
You're doing something that you shouldn't be doing.
Yeah. And you will hear a lot of horror stories from old people, like people that work on mine sites, of times when, deaths were more common, accidents were more common. And they'll tell you themselves, It's not as often as it used to be.
No,
it's a lot safer,
but it was like you were like a cowboy out there in the wild, wild west, sort of. That's how I could sort of describe it to people. You were cowboying things out there. Rules, you know, you didn't get a DNA, a drug and alcohol. So when I say DNA, that's what I mean is drug and alcohol.
Yes, yes.
You didn't get DNA randomly every second day. You didn't have to blow through a breathalyzer every morning to come to work.
And that's why they have it all in now, because of the fact they didn't used to.
Yeah, exactly right. And shit would just
go wrong.
Yeah, exactly right.
It'd go tits up as fast as you could count 5.
Yeah. Well, see, driving to a mine site, if you are in a crew car or whatever and you're driving from camp to a mine site, you're allowed to be 0.05 with your blood alcohol. Once you reach mine site, it's 0. Because you're driving heavy machinery, you need to be 000. So if you return a non-negative, so they don't say positive anymore, if you return a non-negative alcohol reading, if you're fine to drive back to camp, if you're under the legal limit to drive back to camp, you go back to the camp and you have to stay there for the day. You can't come back when you're blowing zeros. You
basically lose a day.
Yeah.
But if you... This is one that I've always wanted to know, because I don't think I've ever heard of it. If you go there and you end up blowing so much, you can't even get back in the light vehicle. You can't even drive back to camp. What the fuck did they do to you then? They'd probably kick you off the site, wouldn't they?
Well, before you technically enter site, that's where you do your DNA.
Yeah.
So, if your camp is within 200 kilometres, which, yeah, they are, you get sent back to camp. Our manager or something has to drive you back to camp.
Oh, okay. So,
and then that becomes disciplinary action, whether they terminate you or give you a written warning or whatever.
It's up to the discretion.
Yeah.
It's not up to. It's not a universal thing. It is a discretion thing.
Yeah.
So it won't be the same everywhere. But
and Purple Circle does come into that as well, because, you know, if you're mates with the manager, he'll let you off with that, but then won't let fucking Jack off in the toilets. I did not mean that.
but you said Jack off, like...
Yeah, but, you know, he won't let fucking Bill off because he, you know, was 0.05 or whatever.
Yeah. And that does lead to, that's like one of the no-nos though. No drinking, basically.
Yeah, exactly right. Like,
before your shift.
Yep. I know I don't drink out at work. There's been 3 instances this year where I've drunk out at camp. So no alcohol on my side, but at camp. And they were my last day of swing. They were Tuesday night this week and Tuesday night fortnight ago, because I had my labour hire company's Christmas party. Yeah. And the person who I contract to, their Christmas party.
Yeah. And
then before that was, I just wanted to have a drink after work because it was a long day. So I grabbed a 6-pack, which every camp has got their own rules. Most camps are 2 full strengths or 4 middies per person per day in a 24-hour span. Because I don't drink beer, I buy myself a 6-pack and they generally last me the whole swing.
Yeah. But that leads me to another no-no. Because I don't really have any more questions, but I'm just going to bring up this story. I think I told you about it. So, my auntie was working on a mine site. I'm pretty sure I've told you this one. And she was passed out on a certain vehicle. I can't remember what she was passed out. But then she needed a dozer to be moved. And the operator for the dozer wasn't there.
Yeah.
So, she wasn't passed out on it. What did she do?
Jumped in.
She jumped into a vehicle she's not passed out on. Moved it. And was fired pretty much immediately.
Yep.
Like, it was a couple of days, obviously, of investigation and whatnot. But she lost her job over it.
Yep.
And this is a no-no. If you're not passed out on it, you don't have the ticket, you haven't even touched the vehicle before, don't fucking touch it. Don't go near it.
So, BMA have what they call their life-saving rules. Yep. And that is one of their life-saving rules.
If you're
not trained, assessed, and authorised to drive a piece of machinery... You're not allowed on it.
The only time you're allowed in it otherwise is if you're being trained.
If you see a miner and he's got a little lock, you know, like a little padlock on his belt buckle or something, It's called a personal isolation tag. For me, I need to tag out every piece of equipment that I service. So, like I said before, yeah, oils, fuels, whatever. I'm not spinning filters. But every piece of machinery that I service, I need to tag out and test for dead. So when you've done your standard 11, you'll remember testing for dead is if you lock onto the red isolator, the battery isolator, you try to turn the key, there should be no power going to it at all. If you turn on the yellow isolator, the starter isolator, you can turn your power on, but it shouldn't start. If it starts, then you put a out of service tag on it and do not work on that piece of machinery because it is faulty.
Yeah.
So that's, a couple of life-saving rules is don't jump on a piece of machinery that you're not authorized to do so. But there's also, for people like me and our fitters, we're not fully passed out on pieces of machinery, but we have what they call as test and move. So I can jump up there and turn the key to make sure the low hydraulic oil alarm is gone off or whether that sensor needs to be replaced. Shit like that. To run diagnostic stuff.
You can turn it on to check, you can't move it.
I can to a certain degree.
You can't operate it.
Yeah. I can't go and do a job swinging a digger.
And you can't just go for a little joyride in it.
Yeah.
There's a certain limit to how far you can move.
Yeah.
But when we're not keeping surface trucks in mind,
if you're passed out for a dump truck,
that's all you drive.
That's all you drive.
If you're seeing
and
anything
it's
else,
that specific class of dump truck. If you're passed out on a 777D, which is quite an old 777, that's all you can drive. You can't drive a 777F because it's a different machine. If you're passed out on a 789 C,
you can't drive anything else.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
If you're passed out on a Cat 797,
that's all you can drive.
Exactly right.
You
but
can't drive
a Liebherr T282 is the exact same ultra class size with a 400 ton payload. Exact same machinery.
You still can't drive it.
You still can't drive it.
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of people can get it stuck on is when you have 5 or 6 different people from the same circuit on crib brakes, they're hot seating or whatever, and someone comes in with a 797F or a 793F, which is a smaller haul truck, is what they generally use to cut coal, not overburden, just coal. If you passed out for a 793F and control wants you to get into it, and you're like, well, no, I'm only passed out for Ds, then they've got to reschedule and bumble shit around
and find someone that is.
Yeah, that's right.
That's something that we won't get into multi-skill here. We won't worry about setting up multi-skill workers.
Well, it's not that hard.
I know, but we're just talking about like the basics of mining, and multi-skill starts getting into that a little complicated. Like at a certain point, obviously multi-skill is very easy to understand. You can drive multiple machineries.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the basic thing.
Exactly right. A dozer, digger, grader, and dump truck. If you've got 2 or more of one of them 4, you're multi-skilled.
Yeah, and but we won't get into it too much.
No.
But obviously, and this still applies though. Even if you're multi-skilled, if you don't have a ticket for that machine, and you haven't even started training on it, it's the same rule with you.
Yeah. Just
because you're multi-skilled doesn't give you...
Yeah, like a dozer. If you're passed on a D11T, you can't go drive a D11R.
Yeah. And, that's just something to keep in mind.
One thing, too, a lot of people don't ask, which they should, is what do you bring on your first swing?
Yes. I was getting to that. I was kind of getting to it.
So, depending on whether you're FIFO or not, if you're fly in, fly out, you can... look, if you're fly in, fly out, say from Brisbane to WA, you only take essentially the bare essentials. You take, your probably 3 pairs of clothes, 3 jeans, 3 shirts, and I would probably take 3 spare pairs of pants and 3 shirts, like t-shirts or whatever, 2 belts, always 2 belts. Grab a big 2 litre Yeti thermal bottle, obviously toothbrush, toothpaste, or I'd probably go, if you're doing a 2-in-1 roster, I'd always take out probably 2 kegs of fucking like body soap or soap, whatever. a brand new tube of toothpaste. I'll get my English right. Toothpaste. Just so you don't run out. The last thing you want to do, especially in WA when you're so isolated, is run out of something.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
Although
you don't want to do that in a lot of these places because there are quite a few mine sites that are slightly isolated in Queensland. Like it's not too bad. Like
you look at I guess Adani Bravis, they've got their own camp, so they're not near a township of sorts, and if they are, it's quite a drive.
Yeah, if you're to run out of deodorant in literally the second day because you're the idiot who forgot to check how much was left or forgot to bring a spare just in case, that's a drive.
Yeah. So I would suggest take everything you could possibly ever need out to site. Out to your camp. Whether you're obviously me being drive in, drive out, I can take 3 bags of clothes, and like I do, 1 bag is
work.
Is jeans. I feel because I'm serviceman and I'm not doing washing. I can't stand doing washing, and we do such a long day as it is. By the time you get back to camp at 6:30,
you're not gonna want to.
By the time you have a feed and get back to your room, it's 7 to 10 past 7 at night, and you want to be asleep by 8 o'clock. So you give yourself an hour to wind down, have a shower, talk to your loved ones, whatever, and be asleep by 8 o'clock.
Yep.
Last thing I want to do
is washing.
So I get 7 pairs of pants and 7 shirts. I'm probably one of the only people that ever fucking do it. But I carry 3 bags. I carry normal clothes out with me as well. I'll carry an extra couple of pairs of pants. I even carry an extra pair of jocks, just in case, whatever. I carry a pair of other clothes and shoes. So if we do end up going to the pub for dinner one night or something, I can wear shoes and, just and then jean shorts or something, just above the knee shorts and a nice t-shirt.
And there's also the aspect of if you're on any type of medication, make sure you have enough
of that. Yeah, that's right. If you're fucked if I know on antidepressants, right, and you're doing a 2-in-1 roster, as much as you probably have to do it every swing off, is go get your tablets.
Yeah.
So that way you've got enough for your 2 weeks out.
Yeah.
And you'll probably find that you will get to the point where you'll have extras, so you don't need to, and that's fine. Water bottles. Most places have got coffee, especially in the mess. You'll always grab a coffee and grab one to go. Most mess halls won't have energy drinks in them.
So you yourself would probably take out a couple cans.
Yep.
Maybe a 6-pack, maybe a little bit more, maybe 6-pack plus 1, so you have 1 every day.
I took advantage of Black Friday deals on Amazon.
Yes, I remember what you told me. You've got a lot waiting for you at home.
So I go through a 24-pack of cans of the little ones, the little cans. I go through a 24-pack of them on my swing.
A whole swing?
Yeah. So I go through 24 cans. I have 3 to 4 of them little cans, the 250ml ones. I have 3 to 4 of them a day.
Now, not to pry, but weren't you the one saying earlier so you need to give up Red Bull?
Yeah, I do. Good.
Well, hey, Christmas time, and hey, you treated yourself to Red Bull, so
look,
that seems to be going really well.
That worked out a lot cheaper for me getting them through Amazon monthly delivery than it was buying them at server.
Yeah.
I'm getting them for $1.60 can.
Oh, you're getting them a lot cheaper?
Exactly right. Rather than paying $11 for a 4-pack at a server.
That's generous.
No, that's just the price.
Is that what they're at now?
$11 for 4-pack of little ones.
Ah, see.
Little ones.
Yeah, that makes more sense. Because I was thinking 4-pack big cans is $11.
No, a 4-pack of big cans is $18.
Fucking yikes.
Yes. So,
basically, when you're going out, make sure you
if you don't drink coffee or tea and don't like the tea or coffee they've got, you can more than take your own.
As someone who is also one of these, and you're one as well, smokers, how much should they be taking out with them?
Depending on your roster, I probably I take 2 pouches out with me.
and late last year?
I generally open my second pouch on Saturday or Sunday of my swing, and that'll see me through until fucking I get home.
Yeah.
So smokers, if you're a pack a day smoker, take 8 packets out with you on your first swing. If it's your very first swing out, take 10, because depending on the mine site and your inductions to that mine site, you could be sitting at the crib hut with your finger up your butt for 4 days.
Up your butt.
Up your butt.
Up your butt.
Even at rainy days, if it's predicted to rain while you're on swing,
take an extra pouch if you're a tobacco smoker.
Or a couple of extra packets.
Yep.
With us being in Moranbah in the township, we can go up to Coles or the tobacconist or whatever. If you smoke vapes, then if you go through one vape a week, for instance, I don't know how big, whatever, take an extra one out with you just in case.
If you're someone who has a machine that you refill, make sure you take a bottle of juice with you.
Yep, and your battery chargers.
And this is just for me, someone who works at a tobacconist. If you have the spare parts as a just-in-case scenario, have them in a little Ziploc bag or something, like just a little spare coil or chamber or whatnot.
Well,
Because you never know, because with vape machines, you never know when they're going to fuck up.
Yeah, exactly right. So take more than what you think you're going to need out, and then essentially take your whole life in a suitcase. And then if you don't get a permanent room, like I know some guys in WA, they have a back-to-back.
Yep.
So you'll be on swing A and they'll be on swing B, and you have this big fucking cupboard, and one side's locked, which is your back-to-back, and then you'll have your side. So you only share with that one person.
Yep.
You don't clean your room, obviously. Housekeeping cleans your room, but if you're one person actually that I can't remember her name, but she's only just become permanent in WA. She flies in, flies out from Brizzy. She literally has her own room. So she bought her own bed sheets over, her own pillow, mattress topper, fucking air freshener, and girly blue blah. She's got all her shit in there.
Yep.
And that is quite literally her permanent room. Some sites are like that.
And others are not.
No, with my camp and my site room, I get a different room every week. So I don't know where the fuck I'm going to be stationed at camp.
You just know
all I know is I'm going to have a bed, whether it's a single bed or a double bed.
Yeah, as long as it's a bed.
And a cold aircon.
Yeah, as long as you got the aircon and a bed, you're fine.
Yeah.
Because out there especially, a lot of places in where mines are, they are a bit hot, they are a bit humid, especially in Queensland.
Yeah, look, Queensland, WA, I'm not so sure about New South Wales. I probably would assume the same at New South Wales as well.
Depending on where the mine is.
Yeah.
Like if you're let's go.
If you're Western New South Wales or mid-north coast, places like that, sort of inland, it's still going to be like the same fucking temperature it is up in Queensland.
It's stinking. It can get quite stinky during summer, and it can get freezing during
the winter. Yeah, it's fucking cold.
So another thing to always remember to pack is make sure you pack the right uniform for the season.
Yeah.
As well.
If you're doing winter,
big ass thick jumper.
Yeah. Well, generally work should supply you with one. But I found for me, I hate the cold, so I'm really sensitive to it. I wear thermal shirt and top, then a t-shirt, then my work shirt, then a jumper. Generally speaking, you'll take most of that off by about 10 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, but if you're... See, the problem with that, with the night shift in particular...
If you're night shift, you're keeping it on all night.
You're never going to take it off.
No.
You'll probably even think about putting gloves on.
Yep.
Because it is that fucking cold.
Yep.
You'll even think about a ski mask. Literally, just cut out the eyes and the mouth, and like, some people would do that. And it is quite shocking. But that's just the joy of night shift in winter.
Yeah.
But yeah, always make sure you're basically over-prepare what you pack for your first swing.
Yeah, exactly.
And then from there...
You can adjust.
It's not that hard to adjust once you do it.
No, that's right. You'll know what you're going to use and what you're not going to use.
And the same kind of goes for... once you've got it down pat what you bring out, if you, say, find another mine site to work at, you usually will have a pretty good idea what to take out for a first swing of a new mine site.
Yeah.
But there will be occasions where you might have to readjust.
Yeah, exactly.
And, but you figure that out as you go along. It's always that first swing. Over prepare, you'll know what to do afterwards.
Yeah, exactly right.
Unless you're someone that has the brain capacity of a 2-cent coin.
Yeah.
Because it's non-existent.
If you're a beer drinker, depending on the mindset you're at, you'll have a wet mess and a dry mess.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you're new to the fucking industry, a wet mess is where you can actually have beer. It's like a pub where you can get counter meals and stuff like that. And if it's a dry mess, it's just food. A mess, how can I explain this, is just a big food hall where they have bain maries and you go and grab your dinner and grab your crib for the next day, whether it's in like meal containers or whatever. You can go back in the morning, grab some breakfast or grab your crib then, whatever. And
think of it, school cafeteria in America.
Yeah, American school cafeteria, except you're serving yourself, you're not getting it served.
Yeah, there's no lunch lady sitting there going, "What are you, darling?"
Yeah.
There's none of that. You're picking it all up yourself.
Yeah. If you don't fucking like, depending on what camp you're at, if you don't like camp food, you're more than welcome to go buy your own fucking food.
Yeah, and fucking, like my own father, if he doesn't like the food they're serving up, he fucks off to the servo. He has servo food.
Yeah.
Like, admittedly, it's not that much better because, as you and I know, servo food can literally kiss ass.
Yeah.
But
if he's going to, I think the servo that I'm thinking of, if he goes to that servo, they're pretty good.
they are pretty good, yes. But it all depends again on what they have. Because, don't forget, it's servo food. It could have been sitting there all day.
No. They've actually got a kitchen and a kitchenette. And
right. Okay.
They actually, if you order a burger, they actually
no. His is not that one.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? If you want to order a burger and chips, they will actually cook you a burger and chips.
No, I'm pretty sure the servo you're thinking of is not the one that's
Oh, okay, probably not.
No, I think it's a smaller one. Doesn't have a kitchen.
Oh, right.
It's a hot box.
Yeah, right. He's probably talking to the Caltex. I'm thinking of the BP. It's a bit of a walk from his camp too.
Yeah, it's the Caltex that he's going to.
Yeah.
It's not the BP. But yeah, if you don't like the food, you do technically have other options.
And the camps can accommodate. I know our camp does. If I look at it, what the food they've got, and I go, this is fucking shit, I don't want none of this, then I can order steak, fish, or chicken. And they'll cook it to how you like it, obviously. Or if you have any dietary requirements, you're gluten intolerant or celiac disease, you're vegan, vegetarian, they do with our camp accommodate for that sort of stuff.
Now keep in mind as well, you need to find the stuff out in advance.
Yeah.
Because if you find out it doesn't, you have to sort out your own food before you even leave.
Yeah.
Like, you have to take food with you, probably in an esky or something small, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, depending on how you get out there. If you're bus in, bus out, power to you, good luck.
Yeah.
If you drive yourself, it's a lot easier because you have space to put in an esky, fill it up with ice, and put food in.
Yeah.
Just don't expect to cook food a lot.
Yeah.
Unless you take something with you that you just stick out, like a little pop open, like, what is it?
Fridge.
No. Something that you... Like a little camping thing that you just turn on. It's like a
little gas cooker.
A little gas. If you can take a little gas cooker with you and you can cook with that while you're at camp, hey, you might even draw a crowd.
Yeah.
Because everyone would be like, "Oh, what are you cooking there, mate?
Yeah.
Fuck, can I have some?"
There's, how can I word this? A lot of people they do say, mining life is so hard, and it is. You are out in the elements, and you are doing the long swings. Like you're doing 84 hours in the 7-day period. Like that is a long time for anyone.
There it is.
I myself have gotten used to it, so for me it's not a big deal. I just give myself what I say a rest day on my Wednesday.
You don't.
I do 3 fists of fuck all. I go shopping if I need to, and if I'm feeling up to it, I'll go to the laundromat, wash my clothes.
Other than that, you pretty much don't do anything.
Yeah,
and if you don't even feel like those things, you do them the next day.
Exactly. So, be prepared to be worn out on especially your first swim, because it will take it out of you.
Yeah.
Apart from that, though, it does get a lot easier, and I do say that. It's not back-breaking labour like it is in America or what it was back in the 70s, 80s and 90s.
Yeah, it won't kill you as much.
Yeah, exactly. But you do, if you're a female and you're listening to this, you are around a lot of big, burly, testosterone-fueled men. And if you call them out on their bullshit, they'll respect you for it. I'll say that right now. If someone's making a fucking sexist joke, or, if it's malicious sexist joke, call them out on it. If they're poking fun, then poke fun at back. That's how you're gonna bond. If you're a male and you're not, the typical masculine, if you're a bit of a femboy, I guess. If you're
you like things clean, you don't like getting
dirty, you're not going to last.
You're gonna fucking hate it.
Because even if you're a truckie out there,
there's dirt.
You're going to get covered in coal dust the moment you step out of your truck.
Yeah.
And for me, like, my hands have only just come clean, and it's Saturday.
And you've been home since Tuesday night.
Wednesday, actually. Come out Wednesday.
Oh, yeah, you left the day after because of the dreads. So,
yeah.
So Jordan's been home for 4 days, and it's only just gotten clean.
Yeah.
And just think, in 3, you're back out there.
Yeah, exactly.
Getting dirty again.
Yeah. So,
I mean, I'm someone who likes to be clean myself, but, I mean, if it's part of the job, I don't care. I mean, yeah. I used to work I used to be covered in blood.
Yeah.
So.
Well, for me, I actually, when I get back to my room, because you're not allowed in the mess dirty, so when I get back to my room and my face is covered in fucking dirt and oil and grease and shit, it actually makes me feel manly. Makes me like, fuck yeah, I've done a lot today because I'm dirty.
Yeah. It's the old school mentality of, you're dirty, you've done work.
Yeah, exactly. And if you're not prepared for that, then I don't think the mining oil and gas industry is for you, because it can be back-breaking work. Like, depending on what what you're doing, I'm only talking, on a small percentage of things. You could be on a drill rig, loading fucking pipes that are getting drilled into the ground.
Could be part of the drill and blast crew.
Yeah, exactly right. You could be fucking literally walk up and down a site where you can walk through just without stopping a couple of kilometres, dipping holes or helping put stemmings in holes, shit like that, part of drill and blast. And, even as a digger operator, between shifts, you got to clean your tracks out. So you're getting a shovel in your digger tracks, cleaning them out. Fuck, I'd done it on Tuesday before we left. We had to clean it up for the next crew. Fucking took the wind out of me. I haven't fucking moved a shovel in a long time, let alone that quick. Holy shit.
So, when it comes to mining, there's always one thing. It doesn't matter who you are, really. If you think you're prepared for it, something will probably throw you off guard, and you'll realize you're not as prepared for it as you think you are. If like Jordan said, if you're someone who likes stuff clean, no matter if you're a femboy, if you're just anyone who likes stuff clean, you hate getting dirty, unless you're going to work administration at the mines and you never leave the fucking office, you're not going out there.
Yeah.
And if you do, you're not sticking around, because you will fucking hate it.
Yeah.
If you're someone who loves to get down, get dirty, and get the job done, and you like playing big boy toys, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Just don't fuck up. Like, literally listen and pay attention and fill out all the fucking paperwork.
Yeah.
And you're fine. Other than that, as someone who doesn't work out there, that's what I've got. You've obviously got more to say because you've been out there. And
paywork's a big thing. I fucking hate paywork, so I try and do as least as paywork as I can. But yeah, it's inevitable. If you biggest tip I can give for someone that's a newbie going out to a mine site is give it 110% when you need to. If you got to take an extra 5 minutes to do a job to make sure it's done safely, take it. Be very aware of your surroundings. I took someone out for a drive with me in the service car when I was on shift, and I was sitting at a T intersection, and I was quizzing them, hey, by priority rules, who goes first? And anyway, she was caught off guard, and a big 797 come past us, and it's probably 5-10 meters away from front of the cab, and all you could see was the wheel starts going past. Like, that's how tall the tires are. And she goes, holy fuck, if he ran over us, he wouldn't even feel it.
No.
I said if he was in the service and ran over the service truck, he'd feel it. He'd feel a bump, and go, what the fuck was that? I said, but if you're in a what they call a LV, a light vehicle, you know, a cruiser, a patrol, a Prado, a Hilux Ute, it's not going to feel it.
No, he wouldn't even notice.
Yep.
He'd just keep going like nothing happened.
Yeah, exactly right.
So always be careful with that type of stuff, and keep in mind these are huge machines.
Yep.
Like no matter how you describe it, even how you just described it, the scope can't really be fathomable for anyone who's never seen these vehicles before. So
one of the biggest hydraulic excavators in the southern hemisphere is the Liebherr R9800 or 9880. I think it's 9800. The cab in that is 3 stories tall, and one bucket can pick up up to 80 plus tons in one bucket. So you think of big boy machinery, you're sitting up in a cab 3 stories up in the air.
That's as big as big boy gets. These machines, even how you've just described it, these, like, some listeners will be hearing and go, there's no way. When you see it for yourself, it's gonna blow your fucking mind.
Yep.
Like, our quick story before we start wrapping things up. We come from rural New South Wales, outback New South Wales. We never saw vehicles this big before, right? So when the miner of the family, Dad, steps into a Queensland mine site, open cut for the first time compared to Broken Hill underground, and he sees the first thing he sees is a dump truck. His words were, "You're telling me I have to climb all the way up there just to get into that fucking thing?" And then he stood next to the tyre, and he was blown away by it.
Mm-hmm.
So, and obviously he's been doing it now for over a decade. He's used to the size of the vehicles, but
I'm used to the size of vehicles now. I look at them like, oh, that's a 777. That's a baby. And then you put it next to my truck and you're like, ooh.
Yeah, it's
okay.
It's bigger than you think, but it's still a baby.
Yeah.
And I don't know when he got used to it. It could have been literally after a couple of months.
Yeah.
But you get what I mean.
You do. You get used to the size of it.
And, that's what she said.
No, she said, babe, the big ones hurt.
Yeah. But I think I'm quite happy with how, like, what we've covered. I think I'm quite happy with it. After all, we're not really going into, like, extreme detail with it, obviously, because, one, we've already been doing this for... If you exclude our Christmas talk and celebrations, we've been doing this for nearly an hour and a half.
Yeah, right. Fuck no. 2 hours. Woo!
And that's a lot to cover for describing the basic stuff of mining and entering mining. Obviously, if you're someone who's looking into mining, I'd recommend doing even more research than what we've done. Doesn't hurt.
Just Google wherever you're from, whether it's Australia, New Zealand, Canada, America, wherever. If you want to do mining in your own country, in Australia, WA, Queensland, New South Wales, Northern Territory. Northern Territory is not so much mining, but it's oil and gas.
Yeah.
South Australia's got a few mines. Like, just search whatever state you're in, mining jobs, and keywords entry level or traineeship,
and just look through and just see what's available, see what's on offer. If nothing comes up for entry level, don't be disheartened. It does happen. There will be times where they won't be looking for greenies. That's a term you'll hear too. Greenie is entry level. But if they're not looking for greenies, then just wait. Yeah. If you really are desperate and you really think mining is your thing, open up your search bar and do more than just your states.
Yeah.
Because I can guarantee you...
Some people are willing to fly in and fly out.
WA usually offers fly and fly out for anyone from the country.
Yeah.
So keep WA open if you're not in WA. Other than that, there's a lot. There's a lot.
If you're in Queensland and want to work in Queensland, the easiest, in my opinion, foot in the door would be do on-site cleaning. And that's not even that hard of a job because most of the crib huts are quite clean anyway. All you got to go in is just take the trash out, sweep the floors, mop the floors, and away you go. Yeah, and it's also not bad money. You might end up staying as a cleaner out there. Yeah, well, I don't quote me, but I think the going rate for a cleaner is just under $40 an hour. That sounds about right to me, but who knows? It might be less.
And yeah, also there will be some people that will literally look at money and go, it's all about the money. And if that's your motivation,
then let it be so.
Let it be so.
Because no one's out there for the love of it.
No one's at. Oh, there might be a couple.
Oh, look, yeah. But most people you meet are literally out there for the money.
Yeah, so if you feel guilty about only wanting a job in mining for the money,
don't.
Everyone does it.
Where else could you be on a job with quite minimal qualifications? And I'm not saying, masters, PhD, bachelors, whatever. If you want to earn $110 upwards $1,000 a year,
mining's a go-to.
Mining, oil and gas.
Yep.
But you got to be prepared to put in the hard yards.
Put in the hours.
And put in the hours and work your fucking ass off, because it's not...
it's not as simple as...
It's right. It's not glamorous.
No. And it's also... It's way more... It gets more complicated the more you look into it. Like, if you want to do certain things, it's going to get complicated. But just... I think biggest thing, temper your expectations. Don't go in thinking it's an easy in and out 3K fucking fortnight job. It's not.
No.
Because if that's what you think, I'm telling you, you're not going to make it.
You're going to get blown away.
And you probably won't make it past your first month.
Yeah. Because
you'll go, nah, not fucking worth it. Temper your expectations. Other than that, I think good episode.
Yeah. Don't sleep in.
Oh, sleeping in's the worst thing you could fucking do.
Yeah, with us, we've made a new rule. If you sleep in and have to drive your own vehicle out to site, doesn't matter if you get there before pre-start. If you sleep in and miss the crew cars leaving camp, and they're pretty lucky. They leave at 5:10. So if you miss your vehicle and need to drive your own car out to site, you need to buy everyone a bacon egg McMuffin.
Fair enough.
So you need to buy everyone a bacon egg McMuffin. There's about 18 people on our crew.
Yeah.
So
hey, you're the dickhead that slept
in. Yeah, exactly right. Yeah. So it used to be, if someone was going in to do a parts run or something that day, you would shout KFC, which granted would cost about the same. But anyway, so yeah, new rule is you have to buy everyone breakfast.
Fair enough. Whatever. I mean, might not sound fair because it's 18 people, but you're the dickhead that missed all the fucking crew cars.
You slept in.
Yep. You're the wanker. Might be quite literally, but you're the wanker.
Exactly right.
So don't wank. Fellas, don't touch yourself in the morning. Do it before you go to bed.
You'd be too tired to do it in your morning, trust me.
Yeah.
But yeah, look, if you want to get into the mining industry and got any questions for us, just leave a comment down below.
And Jordan specifically will answer more than me.
Yeah, just address me in the comments. Or, even just send us a DM just addressing me on Instagram. I'll tell you everything I know. Granted, might not be as lot as some other people, but...
Hey, he's been out there for a year. He has more knowledge than probably most of us.
I'm actually teaching the guys that have been out there for ages, teaching them things, just different things along the site. Just because I talk to everyone and I quiz them about their jobs, so...
And obviously with that in mind as well, back to the first bit of the episode as well, we wish you a Merry Christmas from all of us at the Opinionated Aussie podcast.
It's been a great year.
I mean, it's been a better year.
Yeah, well, for us as the podcast, it's been a fucking pretty good year.
It's been a pretty good year for us.
If I can say so, when did we start it? February, March?
Start of February, I think we began.
Yeah.
Around Valentine's Day.
Yeah, right.
Well, I mean, not to spoil how we began, because we did bulk recordings, obviously, of the first few episodes. I believe our first bulk recording was Valentine's Day.
Oh, wow. There you go.
I think.
So we've been here for nearly 12 months. It's been a fucking pleasure. As
for next year, we'll see what's going on.
Yeah, we've got to see if we got some bigger and better plans going on.
Yeah. And obviously there's other projects going on for all of us.
Yeah,
next year. Obviously, I'm doing my channel. Aiden's got all his social medias, and I'm pretty sure you got something planned next year, don't you? With Aden?
Oh yeah.
You don't know if that's going through, do you?
No, I don't. But I'll put it to him.
Yeah. Speak to him about it. He might have. He has tomorrow off, and you're not working. Fucking give him a ring. Give him a ring in the morning to do the usual stuff, and then ask.
Yeah.
Just chat with him for a bit. And obviously after the Christmas you got the New Year, so have a happy New Year. And
We're not doing. Oh, well, I won't be here.
you won't be, so we're not doing the New Year podcast. We might do an episode after, like during the first week when you get back. But other than that, I don't see us doing much for New Year.
Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. The dick stinks.
And stay safe.
Yes.
Always stay safe. And smart. Be smart. Stop being stupid. Stop going out fucking shopping centres on the last day. Oh my god.
If you are drinking, do not fucking drive. Hang your keys up.
Yep.
I shouldn't have to tell you that. If you're drinking around a fucking body of water, be safe, because you can fucking fall in, get eaten by a crocodile. You can drown. You know, it's a lot more common than what you think. So
it is. And the final one, stay cool.
Drink a lot of fluids. Drink a lot of water.
And
some Gatorade.
And if you're in the same area that we are, stay dry. We're expecting rain tomorrow.
Fucking sweet. If you're in Central Queensland, get your brolly out. Get your gumboots on. Let's have a wet Christmas.
And of course, we'll see you guys next time
on the Opinionated Aussie podcast.
Look at you go, you fucking. See you guys.